Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be reviewing slash tutorial slash first impressions basically. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to be trying out the BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel palette for the first time. I just bought it and I thought this would be a perfect thing to review considering it's from BH Cosmetics and it's going into Ulta and it's going to be exclusive to Ulta for I don't know how long, and then it will be released elsewhere. I'm not really sure, that's just what I heard. But yeah, it's BH Cosmetics, which usually isn't sold in stores, I don't believe. I think it's mostly online, so it's just in Ulta right now. So I saw it, it was only $15. The colors in it are beautiful, so I just had to pick it up to try it out. So this is my first time using it. I only swatched one color in the store, and I was sold, so I bought it, and now I'm going to be doing a review on it, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in 1 second. Alright, so to start off this look, I already have like my base of foundation and my eyebrows done. I look a little weird, kind of look manly. So today's video, as you can probably already tell and as I'll say in the intro, hi Nucky, I'm going to be doing a review slash kind of tutorial thing on the new Carli Bybel palette. I'll take the plastic off. So this is what it looks like. Woo! It's so pretty. I saw it in the store and I immediately grabbed it. I don't even think I swatched it. I just saw the colors and I was just so blown away. So from this, oh my god, my cat. Alright, so in this palette there are like 4 mattes that have like no shimmer in them. Then there's one that has like a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of reflex in it, but nothing crazy. And then there's 5 of them that have like pretty noticeable shimmer. So these up here, these 3, and this light one, these are mattes. This is the one with a little bit of shimmer, and these have the, like more shimmer in it, if that makes sense. And then these down here are all highlighters. So it's a beautiful palette. I think it'd be really nice to travel with because like you have your eyes and your highlight right here. I don't really wear blush, so I just have to pack a contour, and then like that's my face and eyes pretty much along with eyeliner and all that. So I'm just going to dive in and just kind of explain how I go. I've never used this yet, or I've never used this before. So I'm just gonna go right in, and I'm gonna start by I'm gonna mix, this light shade and then this one right here. So like the lightest color in the palette with like this, I believe the transition shade, but I'm not sure how dark it's gonna show up on me. I'm just gonna be using a fluffy brush and blending it in the crease. Wow, it picks up really nice. So like right away, the pigment is pretty good. Like I'm barely tapping into those 2 colors and it's already showing up really well on the camera and in person. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend those into my crease, and then alright, so I have like my transition color in my crease. Now I'm gonna go in with this darker like purple. I really like this palette. I don't have a lot of purples in my collection. But then there's also like golds. It's like such a weird like color scheme, but I can see it totally all working together. So I'm just gonna dip into that color a little bit. I don't know how pigmented it is, so I don't wanna go overboard at first. And I just start by kind of tapping it in the outer V and a little bit in the crease just to get that pigment on, and then I go in and start to blend it once there's less product on my brush. Okay, like I'm just gonna quick put in my opinion. These shadows, the mattes so far, are a dream to blend. They go on so pigmented, they don't go on patchy whatsoever. I honestly think these matte shadows, at least I haven't tried the shimmer, but I will, trump the Tartelette palette. Like those ones I have a little struggle, like a little bit of a struggle blending. These ones seem to blend really, really nice. Like it's not patchy, it's not uneven. Like where I put the pigment and start blending, it actually blends. Whereas with the Tartelette palette, sometimes I notice when I place that color down and try to blend, it takes me a little bit longer to fully blend it out, which it isn't a big deal. Like I'm fine, I'm not that picky about eyeshadows. It does blend eventually, but these just blend like right away. Like there's no patchiness in them at all. They're super soft. They're so easy to blend, like I've said. But yeah, I'm just gonna move on to the next crease color. So I'm just gonna go in with this dark purple just to deepen it up a little bit more, and then I will move on to the lid shade. Alright, so that's it for the crease. Like still that darker color blended beautifully. I actually mixed these two. This one's the one that has like the touch of shimmer, but it could definitely still be used in the lid. Maybe that's like, no, it's still pretty matte actually. There's actually no shimmer. I don't know why I saw that in there. But yeah, I just put it in there with this like more of a dome brush, and even like I could have seen myself blending with this, and it's so small and precise, but it just blends like a dream. And I thought about it, and this palette, I rounded up, I think is about like $15. It's like $14.50, and there's 15 pans in here. So you're paying about $1 per pan. I included the highlights in there. Oh my gosh, that is not focusing. Okay. So you're paying about $1 per shadow slash highlighter, and these have the best quality shadows I think I've ever used. It just, like, I don't have to sit there and blend and blend and blend, like, even though you can, you know, this is definitely like a nice eyeshadow palette where if you're like running late or you just want to get more dolled up, but you don't want to spend time sitting there blending. The dark shadows blend out super quick, but they don't lose their pigmentation at all. That's like one thing I can't stand, is using a dark shadow and then you go to blend it out and it's like you didn't even put it on, so you have to go back and back and back, and it kind of can get chunky or patchy when you do that. So I really appreciate the fact that those blend out so nicely. Alright, so I'm just gonna put on a lid shade. I think I'm just gonna kind of play with the shimmers, these, until I find a combination that works nice. I'd like to use all of them eventually, but yeah, we'll see how these shimmery ones go. So let's do it. Alright, so this is all the lid shadows done. I mixed these. Oh, it's not gonna work. Which ones? These three. I wish they had names, but they don't. One is just like a nice, like really pinky, like champagne. This one's a bit more of an olivey gold, but it's not dark at all, so it's not gonna be like a really olivey color. It's more gold than anything. Then this one is super cool because it has like, it's mostly gold, but it has a tiniest little like pink rose gold reflex in it, and that was the one I was drawn to most. But I literally just dipped my finger in each one and then put it all over my lid, and then I went in with some of the darker colors and just touched up my crease because I don't like to have like harsh definition between my lid colors and my crease colors. Then I used that really light matte shade that we mixed with the transition color on my brow bone, and I put it all together, and I think it looks beautiful. I am really liking this palette so far. I still have to try out the highlighters, which I will do. But yeah, like if you are looking for a really good quality palette but don't have the money to spend, definitely go over and grab this palette. I believe it's at Ulta right now. Like, I know it's exclusive to Ulta for a few weeks or so, maybe, until it gets released elsewhere. I'm not sure. It is by BH Cosmetics. I've never used BH Cosmetics before, but I'm kind of tempted to go check them out and maybe purchase a few things because that is such great quality for such a low price. So I'm going to go ahead and put on, oh my gosh, my hair's still kind of damp, so ignore that. But I'm just going to do a little bit of liner because I don't want to have a thick wing to kind of take away from the shadow. Put on some falsies, and then I will be right back for the lower lash. So I have my lashes and eyeliner on, so now it kind of has like a more complete look, to me at least. So I'm going to mix these two for the lower lash line. These two purples right here, and I'm just going to use a really small concealer brush and just press that into my lower lash line before I blend it out. Jeez. So to blend on my lower lash line, I'm just taking that little dome brush again, and I'm just going to blend that out ever so slightly. I also added a little bit of this darker brown just to add more depth because the purples weren't quite dark enough to really give me the depth I wanted. I have to say that's maybe the only downside of this palette so far, is that there isn't like a really dark color to really deepen up that crease a lot. Obviously, most people do have other palettes that have darker colors. This is a very like purpley sort of palette. There's really no browns or neutrals, but I think that's kind of fun because I own mostly neutral palettes that don't have a lot of color, whereas this one is like super unique. So I'm just gonna blend it out, and then for the inner corner highlight, I'm going to mix these two right here. So the matte, like flesh tone shade, and then the light champagne pinky color and just pop that in my inner corner. Alright, so I just went ahead and put on some lower lash mascara. I'm going to do like my contour, and then I'm gonna show you guys my highlights. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, so last test for this palette is gonna be the highlighters. In this array, I think this one might be a little too dark. I could see this being like maybe a bit of a bronzer overlay, even though it's really shimmery. So yeah, I'd say this last one would be either for people with darker skin tones, or if you're really tan, if you just take a tiny amount and kind of flush it all over where you put like a blush. I think it'd be a really nice like overlay because it's not chunky or glittery at all. That's not gonna really show up, I bet. But yep, this right here is that darker highlighter. So that's gonna be way too dark for me. I'm just gonna mix these three kind of just to kind of see what I can come up with. I'm really not one to stick to one highlighter. I like to kind of mix and match to kind of create my own color. Someday I will try out just one at a time, but for now I am way too excited and I'm gonna try 3 of them. Stop it. I'm just gonna take the lightest, oh my gosh, the lightest pinky shade. I like to use the lighter shades of all palettes or highlighters to highlight like this center of my face. Then I'll use darker ones, or maybe just not as light ones, on the rest of like my cheekbones. So, I mean, they are beautiful. Like, that gives such a nice glow. I feel like it's maybe not as strong as like the Anastasia ones. Like, I'm using quite a bit, but it's nice because it's much more natural. And if you are one to be heavy-handed with highlighters, this might be good for you because it takes a little bit more. Granted, there is a strong glow. Yes, there is. Like, I'm not saying they're not pigmented or not shimmery whatsoever. They just take a little bit more, but they are not glittery, which I really appreciate. It's such a finely milled formula. So even though I look like a disco ball, I don't look like a cheap one. It's a little bit more finely milled. So I really like that. Overall, highlighters in this are gorgeous. Granted, I can't really try the darker one. I'd like to try it as like an overlay maybe sometime. But for the highlighters, they are super duper good. I like this. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my lips, and then I'll do the final check-in and give like all my thoughts on the palette. Alright, so this is the finished look. I just put on some nude lipstick because nude lipsticks go with everything. Alright, so my final thoughts on this palette is it's an amazing palette. Like, I haven't been this blown away by eyeshadows in such a long time. The quality is so good, and for about $1 a piece, you can't really go wrong with buying this. You know, I honestly think the blendability is better than, oh my gosh, is better than that of the Tarte lip palette, even though I still love that palette and I use it quite often. This one just like blew me away. I had an idea it was gonna be decent. Like, I've never really tried eyeshadows from like really anywhere that have been like so crappy. I was like, I can never use these. Like, I'm not that finicky about it. I usually can work with it and blend them out. But these blended like a dream. I barely had to put any effort into it. It was so easy to get this really nice like plum smoky eye. This came out really at a good time because we're coming into fall almost. It's the beginning of August, but still, fall's gonna be here before we know it, and this will be beautiful. You can make such nice, like really light eyes, and then you can go nice dark and vampy if you really wanted to and make it dramatic. I just think it's a great palette. I think if you're in the market for some new eyeshadows and possibly highlighters, I would recommend this palette to anybody. I think anyone can wear it. The highlighters, there's a nice array of colors. It goes from fair to dark. So really anyone can use this palette, and pretty much anyone can afford it. It's only 15 bucks. So yeah, Nucky needs to make an appearance. But yeah, I think this is a great palette. I love it more than I thought I was going to. So that is the end of this video and review. I hope you guys liked this look, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.